Hi all. In today's video, we are going to talk about all those questions which are asked under the category para-based questions or verbal reasoning based questions. And that too in specific for different management aptitude entrance based tests and examinations other than CAT. There are a few concepts which you happen to see there in CAT also existing. But then this session today is going to help you prepare those variety of questions which are asked other than the CAT examination, like the questions asked in ZAT, the questions asked in SNAP, NMAT, if you're writing for CET in specific Maharashtra or any other, or it is also helpful for those who are writing the examination for their graduation level entrance examinations, maybe IPMAT or you are in general you are going in for CUET. That there also these concepts are going to really help you. Okay, so what I want from your side is you should be just listening to the wholesome idea of what exactly these questions are like, or what are the things that are tested. Okay, so it is just an intro video about the concepts. We are going to deal with these concepts in detail with each example and previous year questions related to each concept in detail in the coming video. But for today's video, I want to make you clear with the concepts, and I call it an introductory session to all the verbal ability and logical reasoning based questions which are asked in OMITs. And in specific here, I'll be talking about para-based questions and logical reasoning-based questions. So the question remains the same. Now, from my side, I always say that my students get to know how do they have to prepare for the examination first, and then they begin with their preparation. So if you know what are you tested at with a specific question category, so you work upon your whole lot of a concept in the very direction, right? So what are you tested at with these questions, like which are para-based questions or logical reasoning based questions? So if I tell you a bit about the format of these questions quickly, either they are in form of a paragraph given to you. Now this paragraph either could be jumbled and segmented. Okay, if it is jumbled and segmented and each segment is tagged as some numeral or an alphabet or a letter, so you are to rearrange them to form a coherent paragraph. So that's para-jumble question variety. So basically, there is going to be some text either in form of a paragraph, or it will be the text in form of the main statement or premise, and followed by some arguments, okay, which you have to select as to it strengthens or weakens the argument. So it is basically about the format of the question is dependent on what is being asked in the question, right? But as a whole, if I tell you, so there you will happen to encounter some text. The length of the text may vary. It could be a paragraph, it could be just a main statement of 2 3 lines, then supported by certain arguments of each line, 1 line each, or it could be certain statements arranged and you're asked to align them as to what, which happens to be the assumption, what happens to be the lateral argument, what happens to be the conclusion. So there could be n number of questions drafted out of the text. पॉइंट इज आपको टेक्स्ट पढ़ना है, टेक्स्ट समझ में आएगा तो क्वेश्चन स्टेम में क्या पूछा गया है आप वो समझ पाओगे, और जब आप समझ जाओगे कि क्वेश्चन स्टेम में क्या पूछा गया तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग आप उस टेक्स्ट को डील करोगे. ओके, सो आई से दैट वेरी थिंग इन इंग्लिश नाउ. इफ यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दैट द बेसिक आइडिया अबाउट सॉल्विंग दीज questions is you got to read the text and comprehend it wholesomely, completely, absolutely, so that whatever is asked in the question stem, you are able to handle it in the required manner and reach to the right answer choice, right? So that is what our basic idea is. You are tested at your ability to comprehend the text and reach to the required information that is asked in the question. So you're tested at this ability. Now the question arises: what are the major concepts asked in this question category, like under this segment, what are the major concepts asked? So these are mainly the concepts. First one is parajumble. You are given a distorted paragraph or a jumbled paragraph that you have to rearrange. Okay, that is parajumble as a question variety. Then there is a parajumble and paracompletion, both you happen to see in CAT also, and it can be there in other management entrance test also, right, or METS also. Paracompletion in specific, any paragraph with some piece of information missed or omitted from anywhere, maybe in the beginning of the paragraph or maybe at the end of the paragraph. They want you to complete the given paragraph with any of the answer four. There are majorly four answer choices given, and which contains some text of a length of a sentence or a two, and you're required to fill in that text into the blank or the gap that they have curated for you to complete the paragraph, right? So this is what it is, paracompletion as a question variety. Then there is another variety which was there earlier, but it happens to be, even if it is not there in your examination, working on this specific question category actually makes you work upon your comprehension ability a lot, a lot, I mean it. So you should know to handle this question variety, and that is para summary. कुछ भी एक स्मॉल सा पैराग्राफ आपको दिया होता है, उसको रीड करने के बाद उसका जो जिस्ट है वो इन फॉर्म ऑफ अ स्टेटमेंट और अ टू, 4-5 आंसर चॉइसेस, नॉट 5, मेजरली 4 आंसर चॉइसेस के फॉर्म में आपको दिया होता है, उसमें से एक ही होगा जो सबसे अप्रोप्रिएट समरी होगा। वो आपको आफ्टर रीडिंग यू हैव टू असेस कि कौन सा सही समरी है, विच पोर्शन or which length of the text summarizes the given paragraph the most, okay, in the most appropriate manner, I mean. So para summary is the next variety. See, I'm hurrying up because here in the session is just to introduce you with the concept. A detailed session on these, obviously we are going to conduct a session on each such concept in detail later, but for you to just get connected and just understand, get acquainted first, then attempt the question, I have given the entire lot of concept in form of one crisp intro session, right? So coming to assumption, the next concept that I want to talk about is, there are questions that test you at your part to assume things on the basis of what you read. Okay, so assumption is basically the idea that tests you that whatever information you're provided here with, do you know what must have been there before that resulted in it? So there are certain answer choices. Again, the format varies here and there a bit, but if you understand what is an assumption and what exactly you have to seek and evaluate in each answer choice, that you'll understand, you'll be able to do that question well then. So assumption is another question category asked. Then there could be a format, इसका format थोड़ा different हो, जैसे मैंने previous slide में भी आपको बताया, कोई एक statement होगा, उसको उसके साथ कुछ आर्ग्यूमेंट्स दिए होंगे, मे बी 2 or more than 2 in number. You are required to read those arguments and tell whether the argument strengthens the main statement or not. Okay, इसको हम लोग डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे, कैसे कोई आर्ग्यूमेंट मेन स्टेटमेंट को स्ट्रेंथन कर सकता है या कैसे वीकन कर सकता है, क्या एस्पेक्ट्स हैं जो आपको देखने चाहिए. ओके, एक तो इफ यू आर गुड एट रीडिंग एंड कॉम्प्रिहेंडिंग योरसेल्फ, you can understand logically. These are the questions that test you at your common sense more than anything else. Like any technical aspect of linguistics is not tested here. It's basically, what do you read out of the given text, and how can you connect that piece of information with the piece of information that is present in common for all of us, right? So that is the idea basically. So क्या उस argument को strengthen करता है, क्या weaken करता है, ये पूछा जाता है. Then the other concept that you might be tested at is, what is the right course of action in a given situation, what immediately one should do. उसके बाद अगर basically आपका जो केसलेट का एक मिनिएचर फॉर्म होता है, ये एक छोटी सी कोई भी एक सिचुएशन दी हुई होती है, उसमें क्या इमीडिएटली हमारा कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन होना चाहिए कि हमें इस सिचुएशन में क्या करना है, दैट इज व्हाट इज आस्क्ड. इसको हम और डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे इन द क्लासेस टू कम. But for OMIT, it is not directly asked, okay? But it was asked earlier. See, I have brought in this slide, I have brought almost every possible question variety that or the concept that can be tested in the examination. तो अगर आपको एक vague idea भी आप इस slide से या इस session से आज ले लेते हो, तो उस पर डिटेल में वर्क अपॉन करके आप इस concepts को आगे मास्टर भी कर सकते हो, if in case it is asked, right? God forbid. See, we are facing the unpredictable nature of different examination these days. So you never know. So if you know the concept, if you can connect with the idea in the examination, God forbid it is there, so you can at least handle it. You will not panic. So with that perspective, I'm giving you almost all the possible concepts here. Coming to next is conclusion. See, conclusion is a very simple concept and that you've been doing since your early years of learning, wherein some text is given and you need to conclude it with the right meaningful information, right? So that is conclusion. Inference is an interesting concept. Inference is basically your level of comprehension beyond the text. What do we mean by that? That something which is not very clearly stated, but you can understand that that is what author wanted to say. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड इन्फ्रेंस. भाई जो टेक्स्ट में लिखा है वो तो सभी पढ़ सकते हैं, वो सभी समझ सकते हैं, लेकिन टेक्स्ट में जो लिखा है उससे और क्या मतलब निकल रहा है कि इसका मतलब ये भी हो सकता है, और दिस इज व्हाट द हिडन कंक्लूजन, आई कॉल इट इन्फ्रेंस एज अ हिडन कंक्लूजन ड्रॉन. So if you can do that, that is wonderful, and there is a way to do that, to inculcate this specific ability. इसको हम डिटेल में आगे क्लासेस में पढ़ेंगे, but yes, inference has been there. If not in form of a separate question, you know that inference based questions from the passage itself, reading comprehension passage, you happen to see quite a lot. तो ये आपका concept clear होना चाहिए. Then comes parallel reasoning. Parallel reasoning is has not been asked recently though, but इसका concept वही होता है कि जैसे आपका concept of parallel line says that some text which is given here may be belonging to a different domain. Okay. If it collides with the information from different domain collides with or is presented with the other text of different domain, but they are presented in the very sequence of content. I'll detail you about this as to what it is. So with different examples in the coming classes, but over here just understand parallel reasoning as a concept is also tested. All right, then comes your ability to assess whether the given text is a piece of a judgment, or it is the given text is an inference drawn from some other piece of text, or it is a fact, something that is open for verification and that can be verified. What is it? So that is also tested in form of a question category. It was asked long back, it has not been asked recently, but working on these ideas help you develop your reasoning with text, and I always find it healthy when I introduce these ideas to students so that their perspective about the text broadens as a whole. सिर्फ वो नहीं होता जो आप टेक्स्ट में दिया है, आप पढ़ रहे हो, आप समझ रहे हो, लेकिन हर टेक्स्ट के कुछ मल्टीट्यूड एस्पेक्ट्स होते हैं जो हम लोग अगर जानते नहीं है तो उसको उस एंगल से देख ही नहीं पाते, राइट? सो टुडेज सेशन I am making you aware that if you know about these concepts, well and good. If you don't know about these concepts, I'm introducing them to you here in the session itself. So judgment, inference, fact is the another concept. Then comes up linear and down linear and lateral arguments again. What is this? कोई भी एक टेक्स्ट दिया होता है आपको, ठीक है, और उसके बाद कुछ साथ में 4 to 5 और डिफरेंट पीसेस ऑफ टेक्स्ट होते हैं. आपसे पूछा जाता है कि ये टेक्स्ट इसके पहले की बात होनी चाहिए कि इसके बाद की बात होनी चाहिए. अप इट इज अप लीनियर टेक्स्ट और डाउन लीनियर, और इट इज लेटरल, की दोनों में वही बात कही गई, यू नो. सो लेटरल इज बिलोंगिंग टू द सेम टाइम और सेइंग द सेम आइडिया, rephrase of the same thing, right? So that is also, that had been a question category long back, but it is also an interesting question category and a concept that I believe the students who are preparing in depth about verbal reasoning should know, right? So these were all the concepts that I said. I could have missed one or two, yeah, odd one out, which is there asked in your CAT, odd one out. there are certain other concepts which you happen to read under reasoning. There is syllogism, there is analogy, word analogy. There are many other concepts. Since you study it in form of a reasoning concept separately, I'm sticking my input to the domain knowledge related to verbal ability. Okay, so these are the concepts tested in the examination. And now, in the further sessions, I would want you all to solve questions with me from previous year question series and understand how each of the concepts said here is applicable. I will try my level best that I cater to the needs of almost all the students who are writing different examination. But my current at present, my entire concentration would be on making certain concepts very very simple and handy and user friendly for those who have some exams lined up right ahead. Okay, so with this hope that you will be there in the coming sessions and you'll be learning in detail about these concepts and you'll be solving certain questions with me. I am signing off for this video. I'll get to see you in the next session. Bye bye.